Welcome back, or if this is your first time, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Melissa with Sentimental Salvage and Design, and today we're going to take this drab and abused thrift store storage ottoman and create a beautiful new upholstered top using painter's drop cloth and fusion mineral paint products. Let's get started. Hello. This is just an old piece of drop cloth. The canvas drop cloth that you can buy, I always get these at Home Depot. They're 4 by 15, I think. 4 feet by 15 feet. Just an old chunk. You can see there's some paint hanging out here. I have this super cute little stool. I've given this a base coat. So this has been painted with Fusion Homestead Blue. I'd never used that color before and I think it's really pretty. So that's the base. It's just a little footstool. This is the Homestead Blue that I used. I put drop cloth. So don't mind my tape, but I'm not using a stencil, so I put some tape. And now you can see, here's the drop cloth, and then this is painted. I was hearing that if you paint with Fusion on fabric and you do a couple coats and then you wax it, it kind of has like a leather feel. So this has the first coat of Fusion that I put on here. I used casement. It's almost white, but it's a little bit off. And the first coat I watered it down, probably 2/3 paint, 1/3 water, maybe a little bit more water, but I just kind of eyeballed it. I didn't measure it. So that was the first coat and that went on really good. It just kind of soaked in and then I let it dry. And then I took a sanding block and I just scuffed it up to kind of soften it again. And then I did my second coat, just straight paint. I didn't water it down. So that's what this is now. This is 2 coats and it looks pretty good. And I wanted to do these stripes, so we're going to paint that today. And hopefully it all turns out. So what I'm using is, this is one of the Klingon brushes. These are my favorite brushes for stenciling. Okay, so this is an actual stencil brush. They're very coarse, like cut bristles. And I mean, it works, but I don't like how it feels. I like how these are they're a little bit softer on the ends. The tips are kind of finer. And I like that for stenciling. To make this a little bit firmer, I just take a little bit of masking tape and I put it around the brush. And it just holds those bristles a little bit more stable. So see how that, just about that far down, and it holds all the bristles stable. I have just put down on the table a piece of press and seal, that cling wrap stuff, and it just protects the table. And I'm going to be using Fusion's heirloom color for these stripes because I think it looks really pretty with the Homestead Blue. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scoop out a little bit right on this press and seal. And I just have a little piece of paper towel here to dab my brush off onto. So this is the easy part. If you guys have done stenciling, just dab the paint off and then just kind of pounce it on here. You just want to use a little bit of paint, because if you put too much, it could bleed through under your tape or your stencil, and then it doesn't give you those nice crisp lines. So always the trick to stenciling, to getting nice stenciled, nice crisp lines, is not to have too much paint on your brush at a time. go for wax. And we are going to use Fusion's wax on Fusion's paint. Just with a normal, ooh, I wasn't expecting that. So Fusion's wax is nice and buttery soft, just like DIY's. Good to know. I was wondering about that. I made a big fat mess. I always kind of brush it on first and then really work it in. I do the same thing when I'm working on furniture. I just brush on the wax and then go back and work it in. So with this project, I'm specifically not aiming for a super soft fabric texture. I want it to be a little bit more rigid, I guess. A little more sturdy of a fabric. That's what I'm aiming for here. I'm only doing one coat of the wax, I think. We'll see how it feels after it's dried. I'll see how it feels tomorrow morning on whether I want to do a second coat of wax. Because remember, this is Fusion too, so this wax, it's just giving you a little bit of an extra protective barrier because Fusion is so matte that if you want to avoid, you know, some fingerprints or anything like that, you can always seal it with wax or the tough coat. There's actually quite a few options, which is kind of cool. And now I'm going to just grab a nice clean cloth. And I'm going to wipe that excess off. That's actually kind of neat, guys. I kind of like it. Like, I feel like you could actually accidentally spill something on here and it would just kind of bead off. And because it's a little storage ottoman or step stool or whatever, when you'll be touching it to lift up this lid, it shouldn't get all grubby handprints. Pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Like, I don't know if you can kind of, it's really smooth now. After the last coat of paint, I sanded it again before we did this part. It was freshly sanded, and it still felt a little scratchy, but now it's like, it's so soft. I'm losing it, guys. This kind of feels like leather. I like it. Okay, that's enough jabbering. I'll let you guys go. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you're gaining something from this, my crazy projects, my winging it projects. Thanks a bunch. Thanks for being here. Bye.